Hello. So this is my Canon TR8622a color inkjet laser printer, and it's actually an all-in-one. You know, it's got the scanner, auto document feeder, does fax, you know, and it can do copies as well. But if you notice, it's sitting there next to another printer, and that is my Brother 3290 color laser printer. It's an all-in-one as well. But some people might be wondering why on earth I have both. And so I'm going to go ahead and kind of cover this. So ideally, in a perfect world, if a color laser printer could produce as vibrant color photos, photo stickers, or whatever it might be, I wouldn't even look at an inkjet printer. And admittedly, I prefer lasers to inkjets for just about any application. But what happened is, as a lot of people are aware, inkjet still hasn't been surpassed when it comes to doing photos. And so I've gotten into doing replacement labels for retro video game cartridges. And so, you know, in order to really bring out the best, the Brother did a decent job, but there's still no comparison if I compare, you know, my Canon with it in terms of that application. So basically, I did buy this guy to do smaller photo prints. So the TR8622a, if you go to Canon's website, it's actually confirmed this is basically the Walmart model of the Canon TR8620a, which is better known. And per Canon, and this was confirmed through their support website, it's the exact same machine. It's just that, you know, this model was specifically made for Walmart. So if you're looking for the 8620A, you can actually get the 8622A for a little bit cheaper through Walmart, and that's what I did. I had a coupon code for them, and so I got this guy, I think, on sale for about $130. Whereas it's difficult to find the regular 8620A for less than about $160. So it does save you a little bit of money if you go with this model. I think they said that maybe the 8620A, if you use the iOS app with Apple or whatever, maybe it's a little bit more user-friendly than this model is, but I don't own any Apple products, so to me that feature was useless. So anyways, just something to consider if you're looking for different options out there. But the reason that I ended up going with this model was because literally all the reviews stated that if you're looking for a printer that just does good photos for under $200, this is about as good as it gets. It's probably the best budget photo printer that you can find. So for the most part, I am going to be reviewing this thing for the applications of small color photo prints, just because, in my opinion, that's really what these excel at. You know, and don't get me wrong, you know, they do a decent job at document printing, but you're going to end up paying through the nose trying to keep up with doing document printing on this or any other of the more budget-friendly inkjet printers. So this one, it has all the different features that you could want in it. You know, it even has the option to fax if you so desire. It also has the auto document feeder there. I believe it holds up to 20 sheets on it. I'll have to look that up. It's either 20 or 25 sheets. So it'll hold a decent amount there if you want to feed in multiple pages and scanning stuff in. And admittedly, as I said, I haven't really used the feature much for that purpose, you know, but it does have the auto document feeder, whereas my 3290 does not. So that's kind of nice that I have that option now, where I didn't with the 3290 laser printer that I have. So I'm going to go ahead and warm this thing up, and you know, it does have a really nice touch screen here. You know, you have the various options there, so you can go ahead and just kind of set it up. One other thing that I really do like about this Canon, they really set it up nice for photos. So like when you go into the properties, when you get ready to print a sheet out, it goes ahead and gives you all these different options as far as like, okay, do you want to print on glossy? Do you want to print on matte? Do you have Canon photo paper? And admittedly, I'm a little bit cheap, so I don't use Canon photo paper. And in particular, Canon doesn't really make sticker photo paper, whereas there are a lot of third-party manufacturers. But they do give you that option there when you go in and select it. So they really just it really does a good job about dialing it in. It has a calibration process to kind of try and optimize things for you when you first set it up. And so it's really, for the amount of money you're spending, it's a great printer. So when you go ahead and operate it, like most of the inkjets, you go ahead and flip it up, and then you go ahead and pull out the lower tray here to catch it. As you can see there, I feed the stuff in from the back. Generally speaking, I'm using the rear feeder tray there because that's where you feed in like the photo paper and sticker paper and whatever. It does have a tray on the underside here underneath this where you pull it out for just like regular papers if you just want to have a regular tray for regular paper down there. But as I said, I really don't use it much for that purpose. Document printing I do with my color laser because it's a lot more cost effective and I'm not constantly having to change out ink cartridges. So predominantly it does, I use it for photo applications, and as I said, this is something that, in my opinion, this is a great solution if you're in a situation like me where you have another printer, like a laser printer that you do for documents, even if it's just a black and white, and then you want to just use this for color applications, that would also be a great choice as well. You can use the Canon as just a complete all-in-one solution. Just be aware you're going to spend a fair bit of money on inkjet cartridges trying to keep up with it. Now, as far as inkjet cartridges go, I'm going to go ahead and just tell you what I've done. So I've never ventured outside of the OEM Canon cartridges, so I cannot comment on third-party cartridges on this one. I've heard of some folks using ones like Easy Ink and having good luck with them, but as with any third-party cartridges, it just seems like, it varies from use to use. It varies on whether or not you've updated your printer, let it do a firmware update or whatever. And so there's just a lot of variation with how successful people are with third-party cartridges on these things, and there's so much mixed information. So what I've done as a compromise is I buy the official cartridges, but I go through like eBay, so I end up paying only about half as much as you would normally spend on getting it through an official source. So that's what I found to be is the best solution, because that way I'm still getting OEM, but I'm not completely getting robbed paying, the brand new retail pricing for all the replacement cartridges. I just recently replaced my first set, and the starters, printing, about 2 to 3 times a week, lasted me about 3 or 4 months. Which for starter inkjet cartridges, that's actually a pretty decent run. Now, this is an interesting printer because a lot of printers in the under $200 range, they have, your 4 standard cartridges. You have a black cartridge, you got a cayenne, a magenta, and a yellow. In this case, they actually have 2 different types of black cartridges. So this actually has 5 inkjet cartridges. One is a black ink that's geared more for document printing. And then one is a black ink that is designed more for, for photo applications. So it's really interesting because they've actually separated the 2. And because of that, you actually get a better quality color reproduction, because it's kind of one of those things where it's just like, the more cartridges you have, the more cost you have as far as replacing cartridges, but on the flip side, the better and the more accurate the color reproduction you're going to get. That's why one of the things you look at when you look at like some of those professional quality photo inkjet printers that are really expensive, you might have as many as 8 to 10 inkjet cartridges out there for different colors, because that's what it takes to get the best quality color reproduction. So, but anyways, for a printer in this price range, for it to have not 4 but 5 inkjet cartridges, and to have the 2 blacks that have a dedicated purpose, it actually does make a difference there. And in my opinion, that's what helps give it the edge, so that it gets better quality color reproduction. Now, as far as the type of prints you can do with these things, realistically, I've never used it for anything more than, like a 2 to 3 inch image, because basically what I'm using this for is to make replacement N64, Nintendo 64 front label cartridges, front labels. And they're not much more than about 2 to 3 inches. I would say realistically, though, if you're looking for one that's going to give you just that super sharp, full page, if you're looking for an 8.5 by 11 that'll cover a full sheet there and just give you just an absolute amazing quality picture, this printer is not going to do it. You are going to have to step up your budget quite a bit and move into, closer to the pro range if you want something that big with a really good, solid quality picture. But I would say this printer would be great for, like 3x5 or maybe even a 4x6. So if you don't need anything bigger than that, I would say, yeah, you would be perfectly fine using this printer. But yeah, if you're wanting 5x7 or larger images, I would say, yeah, you need to, step up your game and your budget and open up your wallet and then invest in something, more along the lines of a pro quality inkjet printer. So I'm going to go ahead and do a quick demo here. What I'm going to do, I'm actually going to do a matte white photo print here, and it's going to be, once again, it will be a sheet of Nintendo 64 cartridge labels, just because that's what I use it for primarily. So, but that way you can kind of get an idea. And as I said, they're about 2 to 3 inches tall and just over a couple inches wide. So that kind of gives you a little bit of perspective on this. And keep in mind that the glossy will have a little bit better color contrast, although at the expense of not making it look quite as natural. So I use both matte and glossy depending on what a person wants. So just give me a second here and I'll go ahead and do a test run here and just give you a look of what it looks like. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you here. You've got the options right here. So for media type, when you click the options, when it pops up there with your printer, you can just come in here and you can click down here to photo papers, and then you can see here you've got all your options for different types of photo papers. Particularly, of course, the Canon line for photo papers. You got a full selection there. And then you also have just the generic glossy or matte. And in this case, I'm doing a sheet of matte, so I'll go ahead and select that. The print quality, I always put on high. You have an option for high or standard. So that's generally all I have to do, is just put it on the type of paper I'm using, whether it be matte or glossy, and then select the print quality to high so I get the highest quality color reproduction on it, and as well as resolution. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Yes, I'm outside the margins again. I'll let it go ahead and do its thing, and yeah, it's telling me I need to replace the regular black toner that it uses for photos there. So I will do that here in a little while, but of course you can always get a little bit more out of it even after you get the alert, so just a little money saving tip there. You can generally get a few more prints out of it before you actually have to replace it after you see that alert pop up. So I'll go ahead and pause it here and I'll show you the final result once it's done. Okay, so anyways, this is the result right here. You can see that, and that's actually really good for matte white there. That's not a glossy sheet. So that's the kind of color quality reproduction that you can get out of this thing. And as I said, keep in mind that's for an image that's, you know, roughly, you know, between about 2.5 and 3 inches in both directions. And, you know, that's just what you can expect out of it. So this is sticker paper, so yeah, I'll just go ahead and cut it out and cut it to size, and then you got 12 perfect reproduction cartridge labels there that people can use for whatever they decide to do. So anyway, yeah, as I said, for smaller pictures or stickers or whatever it might be, this guy is an awesome printer for the money. You're going to be really hard-pressed to beat it. As I said, I would actually like, if for people who go and take a look at this thing, to be able to go ahead and give me their feedback on using third-party inks with it. I'd love to hear back from you guys on that, just so that way I can look at some different options. As I said, if I were looking at it, Easy Ink is one that I would look at, and then possibly some others that are out there. But as I said, I'd love to hear from people who have had, whether it be either the 8620A or the 8622A, just go ahead and give me some feedback on third-party ink that you've had good luck with. And I'd love to try it out in the future and maybe try a follow-up video. So, you know, I recognize there are probably a number of features here that, you know, other people would like coverage on as far as, you know, scanning and that sort of thing. And as I said, I haven't really used it much for that purpose because really my workhorse is my 3290. So I got this guy just to do photos and, as I said, really, you know, sticker labels. And it really excels and does well at that. Super easy to set up. I'm trying to remember if we've set up Wi-Fi on this. I think my wife set up a Wi-Fi on her phone so it can print off out of here if she needs it. And I think she's done 1 or 2 test sheets with no problem with it. So, yeah, it's you know, this is a great option for the money if you're looking for a budget way to do small photos or photo stickers. I would strongly recommend this printer. I've been really happy with it, really thrilled with the results for as little as I paid. As I said, I paid $130 plus tax for it. You know, good luck finding a better quality photo printer for that kind of money. And anyway, that's all I've got. Thanks for watching.